All right, so we have a lot of people in this country that love to pretend to be doctors. And before, though, we start talking about him, we're going to be talking about Jimothy Dumbledore. And before we talk about him, I want to just remind everybody that the only reason I'm making this video is because my boss at Blue Cross Blue Shield has forced me to do so. And I actually recently am working out a contract with Moderna. And Moderna's been scouting for talent in their propaganda wars. And I've been working really hard on that. So anyway, hopefully by the next time I do a Dore video, I'll be an official Moderna representative. But for now, I'm still working for Blue Cross Blue Shield. Also, people in my family, just, full disclosure, people in my family work for Raytheon, and we're a pro-war family. We love war. So I'm just throwing that out there before we start. Anyway, so Jimmy Dore is at it again. There's this new right-wing meme going on, that's against SSRIs. Now, I say this, I just want to be very honest now, that, I've been honest the whole time, but now we're going to get into the really honest portion of the program. I've never been on SSRIs. I have chronic depression. I come from a family where everyone in my family's got chronic depression. We're a bunch of fucked up motherfuckers, in other words. We're a bunch of alcoholics. We're a bunch of depressed morons. And a lot of people in my family have died early as a result of those things. Anyway, so I say this as someone with a lot of experience being depressed and who has also never tried SSRIs. But I also know a lot of depressed people who have tried SSRIs. So I say this from an educated standpoint. But there's a right-wing meme going on that says SSRIs are just a tool of big pharma or whatever. Now, my question is are blood thinners a tool of big pharma? Is any medical care a tool of big pharma? I just don't understand, right? There's two different things, right? If you're attacking big pharma, what are you attacking them for? You're attacking them for having big exclusive patents on life-saving medication, right? So if you acknowledge that the medication that they're holding and charging exorbitant amounts of money for is life-saving, then why would you attack the medication itself, right? So the right-wing grift here is a little bizarre. But anyway, there's a concept out there that the right wing loves to pretend is true that no one who I know who's ever tried SSRIs is under any illusion of. But the idea that you can take an SSRI and then that's it. No lifestyle changes. You're depressed, right? You go in to get help. You get prescribed Zoloft or whatever. No other lifestyle changes, and that's going to save your life and you're going to be smart forever. No one says that. In order to get a prescription for any of these antidepressants, doctors and therapists and so forth will tell you that that is not the case, right? Antidepressants are a tool, right, to help you get into a mindset where you can improve your life, right? They're designed to be a temporary way to get out of some muck, right? And so, now again, do a lot of people have the capabilities of doing that? A lot of lifestyle changes involve spending money. No. And that's one of the problems with capitalism, right? So the meme here is that depression isn't real. It's just that capitalism makes everyone depressed. Anyway, let's watch Jimbo Dumbo. Let's see what he has to say.
A new study, The Serotonin Theory of Depression, a systematic umbrella review of the evidence. So they did a systematic umbrella review of the evidence.
I'm sorry if you don't find this funny. I know it's Jimmy Dore, but I gotta play this again. I love how he reads out a systematic umbrella review of the evidence, and then there's he goes into commentary mode where he's supposed to break it down for an audience, and he just says the same exact thing. The way I would say, this is what was supposed to happen. They're doing a systematic umbrella review of the evidence. So what they did is, they got all the evidence and they just looked at everything and put it all together, right? That would be you break it down. But instead of breaking it down, he just says the same thing twice. All right, let's.
A new study, The Serotonin Theory of Depression, a systematic umbrella review of the evidence. So they did a systematic umbrella review of the evidence. And who were they? These are research.
You can hear the fucking bottle of scotch like fucking bang around. Listen to that.
And who were they? These are researchers from the University College London. They conducted what they call an umbrella review of past meta-studies, and they did systematic analysis of depression's relationship to serotonin activity, and it included tens of thousands of participants. I think that comes from the Hill. So here it is from this paper. It says, our comprehensive review of the major strands of research on serotonin shows there is no convincing evidence that depression is associated with or caused by lower serotonin concentrations or activity. That's exactly what Tom Cruise was just saying. He was saying there is no chemical imbalance.
So, okay. Now, again, I can only hope that people like Jimmy Dore are depressed, right? But I'm not so sure. But as someone with chronic depression, the idea that depression is only and exclusively related to a chemical imbalance, I'm not sure if anyone believes that other than grifters who don't read articles and people that have never actually faced depression, right? Like, depression is like a catch-all for a lot of different symptoms, right? Like, depression is like, you might be in a shitty spot right now, but you can still be happy because you'll be in a better spot in the future. Depression is when you see no future, or at least no good future, right? You see nothing but pain, right? Depression is often a feedback cycle where you fall into bad habits that you just keep repeating over and over, and then maybe you'll develop a habit with alcohol. A lot of people that are depressed start to, and I know Jimmy Dore's got a drinking problem, so maybe he does have a history of depression, I'm not sure. But anyway, right, so the idea that depression is singularly a chemical imbalance, that it's make-believe. No one believes that, right? So I'm just saying, now again, it can be associated, right? It can be a factor in an abstract way, right? But what this study is not doing is the study is not talking about SSRIs. The study is talking about what causes depression, right? And so SSRIs are a tool to help combat depression. Again, not a singular tool, not a magic bullet, right? But you're supposed to be using SSRIs in conjunction with getting more exercise, right? Like eating better, breaking some of your bad habits, cleaning, your house more. A lot of depressed people don't clean as much as they should, right? So again, that's not, I've been there, right? So again, the idea, there's a lot of conflation going on here. And my favorite part about this is that Jimmy Dore, either he has no experience, or he's never met anyone that has any experience, or he just doesn't care, right? He's just misinterpreting all the data and all the findings of this study and just turning it into something that it's not. And it's bizarre. Now, again, no one is saying that capitalism isn't a problem. Like, this idea, these people love to construct binaries. Either capitalism's the problem or it's not the problem. How about capitalism is the main problem, but also humans are weird, right? So anyway, let's keep going.
And now this paper is proving it.
I've heard other people say it and thought they were kooky for saying it. I've heard other people say that there's no chemical imbalance.
I thought for sure it was.
Who is
so
this
most
guy?
studies found no evidence of reduced serotonin activity in people with depression compared to people without. And methods to reduce serotonin availability using tryptophan depletion do not consistently lower mood in volunteers. So when they got rid of the serotonin artificially, when they did that, they lowered people's serotonin levels. It didn't lead them to have a bad mood.
So again, depression is typically a combination of several factors, right? Someone can have low serotonin and everything else is fine, and that's not going to fuck with them. Right? Maybe it might make them a little tired or a little crabby, maybe, right? But this idea that depression is only a chemical imbalance and nothing else, nobody believes that. Not even Jimmy Dore believes that, but he's going to be telling you that that's the science. It's right? No one, I guarantee you, 0% of people on planet Earth other than maybe people like Jimmy Dore who lie for money, would ever say that depression is only one, it's only related to your serotonin, and nothing else. It's not related to your environment. It's not related to your family. It's not related to your money. It's not related to how many bills you have. It's not related to if your grandma has cancer. No. It's only, no one thinks that. Like, again, this study is not, like, the study has, right, actual medical, like, they're finding things out, but these right-wingers, they're not interpreting the study at all, right? Like, they're not, like, they're just, like, looking at a headline and misinterpreting it and then blaming Big Pharma, even though they're not even remotely related to the study at all. It's bizarre. Now, again, we can criticize SSRIs, right? We can criticize Big Pharma. That's fine. But this study is not, it's not part of, like, I don't know, man. Like, the way right-wing grifters, like, circulate all their news, like, it really is impressive. Like, they've really just got, like, one central machine that all of them pick from, and they just all have the same commentary on everything.
So they're saying there isn't a connection between serotonin and mood. That's what they're saying, and that there's no evidence of that people with reduced serotonin is present in people with depression. Just what Tom Cruise was saying 17 years ago. Tom Cruise, almost 2 decades out in front of the rest of the goddamn medical profession. Oh my God, did he do his own research? Did he actually read? You're not supposed to read in this post-Trump era. It's bad if you read. You're just supposed to listen to other people, like Rachel Maddow.
like he's doing. Anyway, I don't know, man. Like,
a new study.
Like, I can't with these people. I really can't, right? Like, I have my own problems with SSRIs. Now, again, I've never taken them. But from my understanding, a lot of SSRIs, right, there's like what's I usually referred to as, from people that have taken them, is like a magic window where like, you take SSRIs, they don't really have, quote-unquote, take effect for weeks, right? And then you've got, like, after a year or so, they become less effective and they end up switching you to something else, right? So, what the idea of SSRIs is to utilize the magic window to fix your environment, to fix things in your life that have caused you depression, to make your environment better, and so that when you wean off of them or change or, whatever, that you'll be better suited to, whatever. That's the idea of SSRIs, right? But again, capitalism makes that hard, right? If you're on SSRIs and you're poor, right, can you really afford to fix the heater? Can you really afford to fix your car? Can you really afford, right? And so that's where we get into the issue of people are prescribed drugs without giving, like, in my opinion, if you want to cure depression from poor people, giving them $1,000 a month will do a lot more than giving them SSRIs. That's my opinion. Or both, ideally, right? But we live in this weird capitalistic society where the idea of giving people money is seen as like a handout. You can't give people money. But if someone is depressed because of environmental factors, and that includes not being able to pay their bills, or let's say they got sick and they missed work and now they're behind on rent, giving them the money would cure the depression in that instance, right? So again, industry and how, like, medical insurance companies, right, because of the way that they work and because of capitalistic society is constructed, like, we're fine, like, just having medical insurance pay for pills, but fixing actual root causes, right? So a lot of people, they get into these magic windows with their SSRIs and they can't properly make use of them, and it causes, like, again, it's just a feedback effect, right? So that's why a lot of people don't like SSRIs. My opinion, there's natural medicines that I don't know if they're better than SSRIs. I can't say that. I've never tried them. But there are natural medicines that are a lot cheaper, aka free, that also would make you a little bit happier, even if your environment sucks. So, hey, you can do your own research on that one. But again, people like Jimmy Dore really make this conversation difficult because, like, again, right-wing grifters, they take this, like, they take one scientific study and then they extrapolate a bunch of things off of it that have no relevance at all. Like, no relevance at all. And then they'll just like make having this conversation with actual people more difficult, right? Because how do you know if you talk to someone that subscribes to fucking Jimmy Dore or Joe Rogan and they read this bullshit and now they're completely missing the mark, they're on the wrong train of thought, right? Like, yes, we can criticize Big Pharma. Yes, we can criticize SSRIs and how they're handed out, how they're prescribed, and how other root causes of depression aren't usually acknowledged or treated in any actual fashion, right? That's all fine. That's all great. This study that he's referencing has nothing to do with that. The study basically says, yeah, serotonin as a core cause, not really a thing, which anyone who has depression could tell you that already, right? So that's why I assume this guy has no personal experience with depression, though I do hope that he does, because, you know, the idea of Jimmy Dore suffering a little bit makes me a little happy, I will say. But, again, the guy's a clown, the guy's a hack. Anybody that believes anything this guy says, I'm not going to lie to you. But, well, if you do take Jimmy Dore at his word and you don't do your own research, even though he tells you to do your own research, you might belong to a group.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a little strange, I will say. But anyway, there you go. That's Jimothy Dumbo. I did my own research, and turns out Dore is a grifting dumbass. It's true. By the way, if you hate Jimmy Dore, just like me, I hate Jimmy Dore. I'm the biggest Jimmy Dore hater in the world. And if you hate Jimmy Dore too, you can give me money. Go down below and give me money on my Cash App, PayPal, Patreon, or give me a super thanks or a super chat. Thank you, everybody. Let's hate Jimmy Dore together. That's how I'm gonna end the video. Anyway, got a show going on. We're doing a show